Hey, Bartwood Bicycle Rider YouTube, and I'm reviewing the Big Sur e-bike. This is by a company called Mia. So why is that important? Is because they're one of the biggest manufacturers of electronic mobility vehicles in the world, and they've been around for about 25 years. Big Sur is one of those e-bikes that I will sell out of my bicycle shop. So I'm in my bicycle shop right now. It's called Biloxi Bicycle Works, and I'm very careful about what I sell off my front porch. I've bought my building. I've got to be here for about 17 years, and I gotta make sure that what I sell off my front porch as a bicycle shop that I can service, that I believe in. For a long time, a lot of these 98% of the e-bike companies that contact me want me to sell their bikes out of my shop. I won't sell, especially a lot of hub-based throttle models under $2,000. And you say, well, why is that price point important to you, Bart? I said, well, because $2,000 is really a bargain for this much bike. I sell a lot of high-end carbon fiber gravel bikes, kind of like this. This is a $5,000 bicycle. So when you're talking about this much technology, this much raw materials, this much bike for $2,000, it's really a bargain. I know I own a bicycle shop. I get a little bit spoiled with price points, what people spend on bikes, and believe me, I think it's very well worth it. You spend money on a bike and you have a better life, you know, less health bills. It's amazing what a bicycle can do for your life. And I've seen a lot of people, you know, a lot of non-bicyclists or bicyclists that have put down the bike for many years are picking these types of e-bikes up. Hub drive, big motor, big power, throttle bikes to get people outside and enjoying life again. Second vehicle replacements. There's a lot to what these bikes do, and I'll go into that in another video. This really is about the Big Sur and why I'm selling Big Sur out of my bicycle shop, Biloxi Bicycle Works. I am a retired accountant. I worked for 25 years as an accountant. I've been a bicycle enthusiast my whole life. I actually just rode my bike to work. I'm in the shop a little bit early, and I wanted to do this video on this bike because this is actually being sold to a customer, a friend of mine today. Just like a lot of other bicycle manufacturers, the stocks on these things are limited. So there's not thousands of these things floating around right now. Now they're Mia is a very big factory, and they will be producing these, but they're doing limited runs of these right now to get this, you know, to get this bike on the market, and they are supporting bicycle shops. So that means if I know my rep for this bike. Sally is awesome. She rides these bikes, and she brought them by my bike shop. So when these e-bike companies call me and want me to sell their bikes, they usually ask one question: hey, where are you at? And they get so confused with that question because a lot of them are just a warehouse and a you know, web store. This is a bike that I believe in because I talked to my rep and I found out more about this bike. Bafang is the style motor that they're using. This is a 750 watt Bafang motor, and Mia has been dealing with Bafang directly. So their controllers, their screen, their wiring harness is all Bafang, and I really like the way that they put their controller in a nice accessible box. So as an e-bike mechanic, I can get in here, I can work on it. There's a lot of things about this bike that I believe in as a guy that's got to support my family by owning a bike shop. That means I can't sell products that I can't support. If someone comes up to my front steps of my bicycle shop, and let me just show you my front steps so I could let you know. This is a real bicycle shop in downtown Biloxi, Mississippi. We're a small IBD, independent bicycle dealer. So this is my bike shop right here. This is how I support my family. Bike shops don't make a whole lot of money, so I've got to be careful of what I sell, because if I sell a product, especially an e-bike product, and it keeps coming back with problems, because when I sell it off my porch, people know they can bring it back to my porch. I can't tell those customers I can't fix your bike because I can't get a part, because the company went out of business or the parts were unbranded and now they're proprietary to that bike. So this bike has name brand parts that I recognize that I can source if for some reason Big Sur can't get me this Tektro brake, I can get Tektro brakes from my vendors. There's a lot of brakes and there's a lot of components on e-bikes, especially e-bikes under the $2,000 range, that are unbranded. They work as they should for a while, but then when they break, believe me, you just can't replace them. I am an e-bike mechanic, and next door the building I have is full of e-bike mechanics and electronic lifts. We work on e-bikes, but we're really limited to, you know, the parts we can get, and also we've got an insurance liability. I can't just put any brake on an e-bike. I've got to make sure it's got an electrical cutoff, and to do that, a lot of times you've got to go into a wiring harness. You've got to deal with batteries that aren't branded. We're limited. I tell people I can tune up the bicycle portion of your e-bike. Electronics, unless it's something I sell, you're on your own. Where we do try to work with some of these companies. We're installing a wiring harness on another brand e-bike right now. We're in the middle of the customer and the actual e-bike manufacturer, and I'm having to dictate the price of what that is. They might pay that price, they might not. If not, I'm going to give that wiring harness back to that customer and tell them I can't help them. It's not, I don't have a dog in the hunt there. You're not necessarily mad at me if I can't fix your e-bike if you didn't buy it from me. But if you bought it off my porch, I've got to be able to service that bike to keep my reputation. And that's why I'm bringing in a Mia. I'm also an Aventon dealer. So Aventon has always been my go-to bike for a hub drive, throttle operated bike. I am a Trek dealer. So you can see the Electra right there. That's a really cool bike, but there's no throttle. I deal with a lot of high-end mountain bikes. A lot of brand name. Cannondale and Trek are my two main brands, and they make awesome e-bikes. A lot of them are a different style e-bike. They're more of a bicycle with some assistance. A lot of those have like a Bosch motor or a Shimano motor, and they're normally more than $2,000, and you get less power. It's more of a bicycle with some assistance. This is a big powered e-bike with a throttle and big tires. Let me go into the specs of this a little bit and kind of get off my high horse of why I'm going to sell these out of my bike shop. And a lot of that is because of the relationship that Mia has with Bafang. And a lot of it has to do with this being a UL rated bike. So this is one of the only United States UL rated bikes. That sticker means something. It means something to my insurance company. When you have a brick and mortar, you have liability insurance, and I don't want batteries and bikes that aren't UL certified. If you bring a bike to my bike shop to get repaired, an e-bike, and it's not UL certified, you have to take that battery with you. You cannot leave it at my shop with a battery in it. One, I worked a lifetime to own a bike shop, and I don't want it burnt down because of a cheap battery. I don't have to worry about cheap batteries, and actually this is the best battery in the business. This is an LG 2170. I might get that a little bit wrong, but it's the same cells that they're using in a Tesla. It's the best cell you can get in an e-bike in 2024. We're in March of 2024. Actually, the last day of March. So, because of the battery, because of the relationship with Big Sur, Mia, and Bafang, I have elected to sell this in my bike shop. And it's, like I said, it's the only other throttle operated bike I'll sell other than Aventon. Aventon's a good bike. I don't want to say anything bad about Aventon. I've sold Aventon to a lot of customers, to a lot of friends, to a lot of family. They were the only player in the market that really supported bike shops. They've gotten big really quick. My support with Aventon's not as good as it should be. And that's why when, and I'm not saying anything bad about Aventon, they've usually taken care of what I need as far as warranty work and supported me as a bike shop. But they've gotten big really quick. Now Big Sur is also one of those bikes that support bike shops, and there's not a whole lot of these manufacturers that do. A lot of them want to go consumer direct, and when you go consumer direct, you're dealing directly with the manufacturer, and I'm not involved, and that really creates a lot of problems when I'm trying to get parts or service for these bikes. So they all tell you, hey, bring it to a bike shop. Most bike shops won't take consumer direct bikes right now, and believe me, I know why. It's turning into a big pain point for me. I try to help the customer, but a lot of times if the manufacturer's not helping me help the customer, puts me in a hard position to be in. Where Big Sur, I've got a direct link to my as a bike shop. I mean, there's a lot of reviewers out there that are awesome, YouTube reviewers, but I am a bike shop. I'm an e-bike mechanic. And I can tell you, I have a relationship with my rep. I have a relationship with this company, and that makes a real big difference when you're coming into a bike shop to buy one of these. And people want to buy these from a bike shop. They're learning from other people that bought straight direct to consumer, and those people now are having problems getting their bikes worked on or fixed because things do wear out. Amiya, thank you for supporting bike shops. Don't revert on that. Stay with a bike shop, and I will help you get your reputation. I'll help you keep your customers happy. But you're also going to have to support me, or I'm going to let the public know that too. So let me get back to the bike. Is really what I wanted to do the review before my friend comes and buys this from me. It's a good looking bike, you know, just aesthetically. It's got tan wall tires. It does come like in a black, and I've got the cream color here. It does come in multiple sizes, so small and large. I've only had the large. I'm 5'9". So from, I'm going to say about 5'6" to maybe 6 foot. So this is a nice big bike, and I've seen multiple riders be able to ride this bike. People love the big seat. So there's a lot of components on this bike, but the touch points are very important. People love this big seat. I see people buy a lot of e-bikes, and the first thing they have to do is change the seat, because I'm not used to a big seat. I'm used to something like this. This is what I sit on. But most people are coming in buying a bike like this want a big seat, and believe me, you can get too big of a seat as well. You have to have a seat that supports your sit bones, but this is a really nice seat for the you get on this bike. They give you a nice rack. It's in kgs, which I think it says 27 kgs, which I believe is over 50 pounds. It's an MIK system, so you can think, you know, things on and off the bike. It has a nice big fender, so the fender cover these big tires. These are 26 by 4-inch tires, and they are moped rated tires. So that means you have a much better casting on this bike. This bike will go 28 miles an hour. You don't really, and it's over 70 pounds. You don't want a regular bicycle tire on this bike. You want a moped rated tire. They give you a moped rated tire, so that tells me they care about you right there. Also, it's got a front suspension on it. It's you know, a decent front suspension. I race a lot of high-end mountain bikes, like you see right there. That's a Trek Top Fuel. This is not that kind of suspension, but for general purpose, this suspension does a really good job of smoothing out the road. It does have a lockout, but it's not a super high-end mountain bike suspension, so don't go beat this thing up on your mountain bike trail, because it's not going to handle it. Light off-road, it's designed for it. It's really designed for up and down the beach, not so much the sand, but the beach. Right here in Biloxi, Mississippi, we have a big beach boardwalk. That's what I just commuted to work on. It's awesome for smoothing out the sidewalks. Of course, your urban streets. These tires do make a little bit of a hum, but anytime you get a tread pattern like that, it's going to. They're a lot quieter than most mountain bike tires, but you do have a little bit of a hum. The motor's very quiet on it. Like I said, it's a 750 watt motor. You've got a 720 watt hour battery, 15 amps, 48 volts. Very powerful battery. Up to 60 miles basically, and that's if you're, you know, helping pedal a little bit. It does have a torque sensor, a real nice torque sensor in it. It's got a good Bafang style bottom bracket in it, so it's a bottom bracket that's made for the torque of the e-bike. You've got an outless derailleur with oversized pulleys. You've got an 8-speed Shimano cassette. You can say it says Shimano on it, so it's not an off-brand. And in here has an 11. The 11 tooth is going to be what a lot of people roll in at 28 miles an hour. 52 tooth chainring on the front, which I don't want you guys getting lost in specs, but that does mean that, you know, you don't have to pedal as a high of a cadence. It's a big chain ring. A lot of times we get these e-bikes, and that's the first thing people want to do. They want me to change the chain ring, and a lot of times you can't because they're proprietary parts. But they put a 52 on this to start with, so just know, from a bike mechanic and a bike rider, I'm a bike racer, 52 is a big, and that's what you want. You want a big sprocket in the front, and you want a small one in the back. 52-11 is a good gear ratio because this thing does go 28 mile an hour. Has 5 levels of assist. I'm not going to get into kind of all the specs of this bike. I do like that it has a trigger throttle on the left-hand side. People ask why. Well, because your rear brake is on the right side. If you have too much going here on the right side, it's nice that your hands can be on the throttle here and you still have full braking capability here. Your brakes are on the handlebars. They're Tektro brakes. Tektro is something that bicycle mechanics know how to work on. We've got the bleed kits for them. We see a lot of e-bikes come in that need their brakes bleed, and you can't get the fittings to bleed the brakes. So it really turns into a pain for the customers, pain point for us. As soon as it says Tektro, I can get parts. I can get bleed kits. It does have 203 millimeter rotors, which once again, don't get lost in specs, but believe me, when you have a bike that's 70 plus pounds and can go 28 miles an hour, big brake rotors matter, especially if you're a big guy. I'm a 150 pound guy, I can stop this bike quick. But when you're this has a 400 pound rating. If you're a 400 pound guy and you're going 28 miles an hour, believe me, you want the best brakes possible. And these are about the best brakes you can find on this price point of bike. The frame is nice. It's got like a flat weld. It looks seamless. It's a nice heavy duty frame, step through frame. I mean, really, Big Sur has done a great job of building a bike for under $2,000. They've done such a good job that I'll actually sell this bike out of my bike shop. And that's saying something because, like I said, 98% of the bikes that people have, manufacturers have tried to sell out of my bike shop, I say no because I don't believe in those bikes. But this bike, I think is going to take over. Like I said, limited stocks right now. I am in Biloxi Bicycle Works. If you have questions about the Big Sur, the EMEA, they only have a few models in their lineup, and I'm pretty sure as this company supports bike shops and gets more popular, because I think that is the key to this, they actually support bike shops. Like I said, I know my rep. If I have a problem with this bike, I can call my rep and get the problem rectified. They have a 100 lux headlight, and I've seen some other reviewers complain about the headlight. To me, it's a great headlight, but if you need more lumens, I rode home last night. I put 1,400 lumens on my handlebars for less than 60 bucks. Rechargeable, they'll last for 3 hours. So if you really want to do a lot of night riding, you're gonna end up getting a headlight up here. This is a great headlight if you're gonna go see the sunset, you know, for safety. It's awesome. I'm gonna go do more on this Big Sur e-bike. This one's getting ready to go to a customer, but just know I'll go through all the specs, how to use these things. We are going to be selling these out of Biloxi Bicycle Works in limited quantities, because there's only limited quantities from the factory right now. But in the future, I hope to have more of these. My bike shop is right off the beach. We have an awesome place to ride e-bikes right here in the city of Biloxi, Mississippi. I did a video this morning. I'm so excited about riding my bike to work, and I want to share this with people and visitors to the Gulf Coast. So just know, the Gulf Coast, Mississippi Gulf Coast, Biloxi in particular, is an awesome place to ride e-bikes. If you want to know where to do it, you've got to come to my bike shop, Biloxi Bicycle Works, and let me point you in the right direction, or you're going to end up in the wrong spots. Anyway, very impressed with this e-bike as far as a big, powered, hub-based, utilitarian style e-bike. There's multiple style e-bikes in the world, but for this style e-bike, you can't beat this bike. You can't beat this bike for under $2,000. There's so much quality, and it's actually name brand parts. For me, from a guy that owns a bike shop and works on bikes every day, I am happy to see this bike spec'd the way it is for $2,000. So if you're interested in knowing more about the specs, details, whatever, let me know in the comments. I'll do more videos on them. I don't have a ton of these bikes. This is the only one I have in the shop right now. It got built yesterday and it's being sold today. But I can see why Big Sur and anything from EMEA is going to be very popular. And like I said, they only have a couple models right now. But keep an eye on this company. If they're supporting bike shops, that means they've got to deal with bike shops. That means we're going to hold them accountable. That's important. If you're dealing with an internet-based company, who's going to hold them accountable? And if there's no bike shops around left, no independent small bike shops like me, where are you going to bring those to get fixed? Are you going to bring them to a department store? So support your local bike shops. If you're buying e-bikes offline, at least go buy your helmets, your water bottles, your bottle cages and stuff from a bike shop, or you won't have anywhere to bring these to. And believe me, I've got, if you live next door, that's my e-bike repair facility, and there's a front porch full of e-bikes needing repair that are bought off their internet, and we're that's for a whole nother video. Big Sur supports bike shops. Bike shops is gonna hold Big Sur accountable, and we're gonna raise the level of e-bike quality, e-bike awareness together. That's the way things work here in America. So believe in the free enterprise system. Believe in people that love bicycles. Again, want people on bicycles. I don't want people to buy junk bicycles because that puts a bad name on my industry. Buy quality bicycles. Don't be scared to spend a little money. And really, at $2,000, that's a fantastic bargain. I don't have a $2,000 bike in here, but this is a big bike for $2,000. Got a lot of, gosh, this bike has a lot of potential. More to come on the Big Sur. Much, much more to come on EMEA. There's their logo right there and the products they build. We're going to be selling out of my bicycle shop here, Biloxi, Mississippi, Biloxi Bicycle Works, where we ride bikes. I rode a bike to work this morning. I rode a bike last night in the rain home. I love bikes. And if you like what we do on Bicycle Rider YouTube, like and subscribe. That just lets YouTube know you guys are watching me and helps me out. So anyway, thanks for spending my morning with me. I've got to get to my morning stand-up meeting with my mechanics right now.